Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So I think algorithm, that exponentiation algorithm and Euclidean algorithm was right. Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
So I think I have already discussed this theorem result. Hmm?
No, ma'am.
That GCD. Okay. What is the GCD of 12 and 18? GCD of 12 and 18.
6.
6. Can you write this as linear combination of 12 and 18? That is, I want to ask, can you write the GCD of A and B as the linear combination of A and B? And what is this linear combination? A into X plus B into Y. And X and Y are integer here. Okay. Can you write D? D is the GCD. D as A into X plus B into Y. Can you write it? That is 16 in terms of 18 and 12. So what should I multiply with 18 and what should I multiply with 12 so that that multiplicative integers should be only integers X and Y. Okay, got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So GCD of 6 and that is 12 and 18 is 6. Can you write it as the 18 into some integer plus 12 into some integer?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me.
Ma'am, 1 and minus 1.
1 and minus 1, right? So this means you have written D as D is the GCD of A and B, D as linear combination, that is AX plus BY, A and B for which we have GCD, okay? And here X and Y are integer. Understood? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So every D you can write. For example, what is the GCD of 9 and 11?
1.
9 and 11.
1.
1.
1. Can you write 1 as linear combination of 9 and 11? Here it should be integers. Tell me.
Ma'am, 4 and minus 3.
4 and
No, yes, 4 and minus 3. No.
that is not
Ma'am,
true.
ma'am, 5 and minus 4.
5 and, yes, 5
5
and minus
and
4.
minus 4.
4.
One more thing, minus 6 and 5 also we can write, right? You can see, check it. Minus 54 plus 55, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So these X and Y are not unique. You may find more than one, right? So the thing is, we can write GCD as linear combination of A and B. Okay, AX plus BY or SA plus TB. Anything you can just. So if A and B are positive integers, there exist integers S and T such that D can the GCD can be written as the linear combination of A and B. Okay. One is by hit and trial method, you can calculate this GCD. That is, you can express this GCD in terms of A and B. Another method is by using Euclidean algorithm that we use to find the GCD. What we did? We divided by the bigger one by smaller one and we got the remainder. Then remainder that B or A, whatever the smaller one, is divided by the remainder. We get again quotient and remainders, right? Okay, then take those two remainder, divide it, again get the quotient and remainders. Right? That is long division method.
Yes, ma'am.
If you write all the steps as Euclidean algorithm, this will give you the last non-zero remainder will give you the GCD. So according to Euclidean algorithm, you can express GCD in terms of A and B. How? I'll explain. So first you try to find the GCD of this one. 252, 198. It is given as 18. Can you express this as linear combination of 252 and 198? So first you will divide 252 by 198. You got remainder as 54, right? Then you take this 198 and 54, divide 198 by 54, you got remainder as 36. Then take 54 and 36, you're getting remainder as 18, right? And then you are getting remainder as 0 in the last step, right? So means last non-zero remainder is giving you GCD. So this 18 you got as GCD, right? So you got 3 equation, and from here the last non-zero remainder is giving you 18. That is the GCD. Now you want to express this 18 as the linear combination of 252 and 198. So what you should do? From these equation you can use these 3 equation, and you can put this value in this one, this value in this one, and so on. That is, by using only these 3 equation, you need to write 18 as linear combination of these one, right? So from the last term, what you do? Start with bottom and go up to top. Why I'm just writing saying that start with bottom? From this third equation, what you get? 18 as the, you can write 18 as 54 minus 1 into 36, right? Am I audible? 54 minus 1 into 36, right? Now, if it is 1 into 36, you can just write 36. Otherwise, if it would be 2 into 36, then 2 will be remaining as it is. You will not multiply 2. Okay? So here we got 54 minus, as it is 1 only. So I'm just writing as 36 only, right? Now, in place of 36, you can take the value of 36 from equation number 2 and put here. Okay? So from equation 2, what is the value of 36?
198 minus 3 into 5.
So it is 198 minus 3 into 54. Don't try to multiply. Take the coefficients only. Okay? You need to just collect the coefficients everywhere. So 3 into, this is minus 3 into 54. 54 minus 198. How many coefficient for 54? 54
4.
into 1 from here and 3
4.
from here.
4.
It will be 4 into 54, right? And minus 198. Understood? Now, here what is lagging? 198 is B part. That is we got. What about A? A is not yet we got. So this 54 is replaced by the value from here. Then we will be having all the values in A, B, and left hand side we have B, GCD. Put the value of 54 from equation number 1 to this one. What you got?
252 minus
1
2
into
times
198,
2.
then you can just write 198. No need to write this multiplication. Multiplied with 4 minus 198. Collect all the coefficients. 252 into 4, right? Minus 4 from here for 198 and minus 1 from here. So it is
minus 5.
minus 5. So 198 into minus 5. So what you got x and y? 18 is equal to 252 into 4 plus 198 into minus 5. That is, you have written this 18 as the linear combination of 252 and 198. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts? No? So the same thing. Yes. Express the GCD of each pairs as the linear combination of A and B. So first find the GCD and express that. GCD you can find by the Euclidean algorithm only, by those steps. The last non-zero remainder will give you GCD. Just try to write. First step of Euclidean algorithm for 9 and 11, tell me.
Ma'am, 11
11
equal
is
to
equal to 9
9
into
into 1
1
plus 2,
plus 2.
2.
Then you take 2 and 9, divide
Yes,
9 by 2. What you got?
2 into
2
4,
into 4 plus
1.
1. And then you take this 2 and 1, and then you will be getting 0 remainder. But for this one, the last non-zero remainder is giving you GCD. So that's why 1 we got as GCD. Right? 1. So 1, you take the value of 1, write 1 in terms of this one. 9 minus 2 into 4. So the you can just write in quotient, you can just write in brackets. 9 minus 2 into 4, right? Then we have 2, right? The remainder is 2. Listen this are same. So you can put the value of 2 or here, right? But you got 9 minus 9 minus what should I put as 2? From
11
equation
minus
number
9.
1.
11 minus
11 minus 9 into 1. So 1 you can just ignore it. So 11 minus 9, right? Outside it is 4. Okay. So collect all the coefficient. 9, 1 from here, minus minus plus 4 from here. How many coefficient of 9?
5.
5. And for 4 we have minus 4. For 11 we have minus 4. Right? If you collect the coefficient of 4, we are getting as minus 4. So 1 is the linear combination of 9 and 11. Okay. Any doubt regarding this?
No, ma'am.
Then try for this one. (33) and 44. For this one, in one line only, 44 is equal to 33 into 1 plus 11. And in next line, we are getting remainder 0. So 11 will give you GCD. 11 will be 44 into 1 plus 33 into minus 1. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So likewise, you can do for this one. This is exercise for this one. For this one, you can you calculate it for E part? C and D are exercise. For E part, try to write the Euclidean algorithm steps. 203. You will divide 203 by 101. What do you got?
101 into 2 plus
into 2 plus 1,
1.
right? So if you go this in next step, you will be having 0 remainder, so GCD is 1. So 1 will be 203 into 1 plus 101 minus 2, right? So you got x as 1 and y as minus 1, okay? What about this one?
Now y
120
is minus 2.
minus 2. Sorry for this. Minus 2. 1 and minus 2. 124 and 323. And these you can calculate. You can take it as exercise. These are same. Okay. All these steps are same. So what you do? Divide 323 by 124. What you got? Hmm? Divide 323 by 124. What you got? 2 into, that is 124 into 2 plus 75. Right? Then you take 75 and 124, divide 124 by 75. What you got? 1 into 75 plus 49. Right? Then 75 and 49 divide it. You will be having 49 into 1 plus 26. Right? Then take these 49 divide by 26. 26 into 1 plus, what you got? Plus 23. Then this one 26 divided by 23. 23 into 1 plus 3. 23 divided by 3. 3 into 7 plus 1 or 2. 2. Right? Then 3 into, what do you got? 3 is equal to 2 into 1 plus 1. So this many steps. And this you got as GCD. Now you try to write one in terms of 323 and 124. Just take the value of 1 from here. 1 is equal to 3 minus 2 into 1, right? That one I am just ignoring. If it would be 2, I'll be writing 2 into 2 only, right? Don't try to multiply. Now this 2, see, these are same. What I'm just saying, these are same, these 2. We got these remainders, right? Are you getting it? These are same. 3, 3, 2, 2, 23, 23, 26, 26, and so on, right? So try to put the value from the above equation, right? So 2, the value of 2 will be 23 minus 3 into 7. Try to collect all the coefficient of 3, right? So here, what we got? 3, here it is, minus minus plus 7 from here, 3, 1 from here. So 3 into 8 coefficient of 3, right? Minus 23. Got it? Now what you do? Put the value of 3 from this equation into this one, right? So 8 is outside and the value will be 26 minus 23 into 1. So 1 you can just ignore. So 26 minus 23 into outside 8. collect all the coefficient of 23 and so on. So just tell me what you got. From this one, you will get 26 into 8 and minus 8 from here and minus 1 from here. So minus 23 into 9. Okay, then you can put the value of 23 into this one, get all the coefficient collected, then 26, 49, 75. Okay, like this, can you do it? So one will be this one. Finally, you will be getting 43 into 323. That's what you are just doing. Yeah. Minus 112 into 124. So x is 43 and y is minus 112. Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
So the rest are exercise,
Yes,
rest
ma'am.
3. These are same as we have done. Okay. So I gave you exercise this one, this one is 5. Okay. Now come to this one. If A, B, C are positive integers such that A and B are co-prime. What is the meaning of co-prime? Can anyone tell me what is the meaning for co-prime?
And GCD of that two numbers.
GCD of all the
GCD
integers
GCD
are
is
same.
1, right? So A and B does not have any other common factor other than 1. Okay. So A and B are co-prime. If A divides B into C, then A will divide C. For example, you have 3 divides, or you can just say 2 into 9. 3 divides 18, right? 3 divides 18, 2 into 9. 3 and 2 have GCD 1, right? They are having GCD 1, 3 and 2. So that's why 3 will divide 9. Okay, the other factor. That is, if A, B, C are positive integers, such that GCD of A and B is 1, and A divides B into C, then A divides the product, that is the vector C out of that product. Because A and B does not have any common factor, that's why it should divide C. How you will prove this? Proof is not required. So, how you will give the argument for this one? If someone asks you that, how you will prove this? See, GCD of A and B is 1. Can you write 1 as linear combination of A and B? That is theorem. That is this one. From this one we got, right? So GCD of A and B is given as 1. So 1 you can write as linear combination of A and B. So there exists some integers x and some integer y, such that 1 is equal to A into x plus B into y. Now, the other thing is given, A divides B into C. A divides B into C, right? Now, if I multiply this, A divides this thing, right? This thing. If I multiply this equation throughout by C, then A will divide the other factor also, right? So multiply throughout by C. What I got? A into C x plus B into C x, right? Now A divides B into C. That means A divides the multiple of B into C as well. A divides A, so A divides this the first term as well. A divides both terms, so that's why A will divide the sum of this term, right? So A divides A into C x plus B into C y, right? Because A divides B into C and A divides A. So it will divide the linear combination of all these. Means to say, what does this mean? This is equal to C, left hand side of this one. A divides C. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone having any doubt?
Ma'am, repeat it. Ma'am, please tell again.
Yeah.
Ma'am, please tell again.
Again, see GCD is given as of A and B is 1, right? So 1 you can write as linear combination of A and B, right? So there will exist x and y in integer such that you can write 1 as linear combination of A and B. Okay? Multiply throughout by C, this equation, you will be having C on left hand side, C into 1 is C, A into C x plus B into C y, right? So look at this equation, you have right hand side is divisible by A. Why? This first term is divisible by A is present here, so it is the multiple of A, right? So it is divisible by A. What about second term? Is second term divisible by A? From the given condition, we have A divides B into C, product of BC, right? So this is the multiple of B into C, right? So A divides first term and second term. So A will divide sum of these terms. Okay? Sum of these term is equal to C. So I can replace this with C. So A divides C. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, modulo we have done na? Modulo.
Yes, ma'am.
In modulo, we
Yes,
had
ma'am.
A is congruent to B mod M and C is congruent to D mod M. Then sum is congruent, sum on left hand side and sum on right hand side of congruence, right? That were also
Yes,
equivalent.
ma'am.
Minus, that is subtraction is congruent, right? Addition, subtraction and multiplication is congruent. That is A into C is congruent to B into D mod M. But there, I think told you that division is not possible always. That is, if you have A into C is congruent to B into C mod M. If you have this one, from here you cannot directly write A is congruent to B mod M, right? You cannot divide by C directly. But in the real system, if you have A into C is equal to B into C, then you can divide, if C is non-zero, you can divide on both sides by C to get A is equal to B. But in congruence, it is not possible. It may not be possible always, right? In some cases, it is possible. What are those some cases? This is conditional, right? If you have GCD of this C, whatever you are dividing, this factor, dividing factor, okay, with M, modulo M, whatever you are working, that modulo should be 1. That is, if C is coprime to M, then you can write A is congruent to B mod M. Understood? Clear? So first you will check whether
Yes.
the dividing factor is coprime with M or not. Only then you will be saying A is congruent to B. Only then division possible. Division by C on both sides. Okay. Now how to prove this one? We need to prove given is if A into C is congruent to B into C mod M and GCD of C and M is 1. That is the M and C are coprime. Then we need to prove A is congruent to B mod M. So take these two quantities, whatever given, try to prove this one. So A into C is congruent to B into C mod M. What you can say from here by definition? Tell me the definition of congruence. When you write A is congruent to B mod M, if M divides
A minus B.
A minus B.
minus
So
B.
here for this question it will be A into C is congruent to B into C mod M, right?
Yes,
This
ma'am.
one. So M divides,
AC minus BC.
AC minus
AC
BC.
minus
take C common, A minus
minus
B
B
into C,
C.
right? Now you have GCD of M and C is 1. That is M and C are co-prime, right? And M divides the product of these two things. Then M will divide the other product, this one, right? M is not having any common factor with C. So M will divide the other one. That's what we did, this lemma, right?
Yes,
That
ma'am.
is, if some integer it has GCD 1, then it will divide the other factor of the product. So M divides A minus B. And in modulo format, how do you write this one?
A is congruent to B mod M.
A is congruent to B mod M. Proved? That's what we wanted to prove. Okay?
Now, what is the meaning of lemma?
Where is lemma? Oh, lemma is a statement that we prove. With the help of that, we can use these statements to prove the theorem. Okay? That is, to make theorem proof easy, we prove some statements before the statement, before the theorem. Okay? So that we can use these. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now it is done. When division is possible? Only if you have the dividing factor is coprime with modulo m. Okay. Now, what do you understand by multiplicative inverse in real number? What is the inverse of 2? Multiplicative inverse of 2.
1 by 2.
1 by
2.
1 by 2. How you guess it?
Inverse,
Ma'am,
2 to the power minus 1.
product should be 1.
Product should be 1. So for A, B is the inverse of A or A is the inverse of B. If you multiply A and B, you are getting as 1. That is the multiplicative inverse. And what about additive inverse?
We will
If
get
you
zero.
add, addition will be 0. Additive identity. So we are just only talking about multiplicative here. We're not going for this one, additive. So in real number, the inverse of 2 is 1 by 2. What is the inverse of 2 in integer? What is the inverse of 2 in integer? Exist or not?
No, ma'am, does not exist.
Does not exist, right? Actually, inverse should be 1 by 2 if exists, but 1 by 2 is not integer. That's why in integer does not exist, right? So similarly, in the integer, which are the numbers for which we have inverse, multiplicative inverse, 1 and minus 1. Okay, for 1 we have 1 inverse, for minus 1 we have the same inverse, right? Only except this, we don't have an inverse of any other integer. Okay, and in real number, except 0, we have inverse of all the real numbers. Okay. Now, similarly, the inverse definition is B is the inverse of A. We have, if we multiply A into B, we get 1. Right? Equality. If in congruence, what is the inverse modulo M? If we multiply A into B, we are getting, it is congruent to 1 modulo M. Right? Understood? In modulo, congruence part, it should be is A into B is congruent to 1. And in which modulo we are working, that I have specified, right? So B is the inverse of A and A is the inverse of B.
And what is the work of modulo M?
Modulo M. Modulo M is this is, I mean, telling us in which mode we are working. For example, in modulo 2 we are working. So in modulo 2, what is the inverse? Inverse will be different. In modulo 2, inverse of, for example, 3. Inverse of 3 will be different. Okay. In modulo 5, inverse will be different. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
That is modular arithmetic. In modular arithmetic, the inverse is represented by this one. Okay, M is positive integer. So inverse of A, B is the inverse of A or A is the inverse of B if you have A into B is congruent to 1 modulo M. So how you solve this equation? Or directly you can just say A into X. If A is given, find the inverse of A modulo M. Then you will be solving A into X is congruent to 1 if X is the inverse. Okay, then find the value of X. It's up to you. You want to take X or B. That's it. That is the inverse of A. Okay. So how you will solve this equation? In modulo, in congruence, how you define this? AB is congruent to 1 when M divides the difference of these two.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So M divides the difference of these two. M divides AX minus 1 or AB minus 1, whatever you can. Then find the value of that X that satisfy this one. Okay, that will give you the inverse of X, that is inverse of A, that will be represented by X in modulo M. Okay, now inverse always may not exist. For example, inverse of 2 in modulo 4 does not exist. That is, which integer, yeah, in modular arithmetic, we are just taking set as integer. Everything belongs to integer. Okay. For example, if someone asks you what is the inverse of 2, you can't say 2 inverse 1 by 2. You can't say that. You should find some integers such that if we multiply by that number, we are getting as 1. For example, in modulo 5, what is the inverse of 3? Inverse of 3 will be given by this equation, that value of X that satisfy this equation, right? This congruence, not equation. This is linear congruence. Okay. So 5 divides 3x minus 1. 3x minus 1. What is the value of X? So write X is that 5 divides 3x minus 1.
2.
2. So 2 is the inverse of 3 in modulo 5. Look at this one. In modulo 5, 2 becomes the inverse, right? But in integer only, if we are working normally, that number theory, not modular arithmetic, then it is not. 3 into 2 will give you 6, right? But here it is giving you 1 because it is reduced by with this mod M, right? So that will depend on modulo. Now, inverse may not exist always. For example, can you find the inverse of 3 in modulo 6? Inverse of 3 in modulo 6. Can you find it? Inverse may not exist always. And inverse of 2 in modulo 4. Can you find it? ये कनेक्शन कब से कटा हुआ है? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
कब से गया हुआ है ये नेटवर्क?
मैम 4-5 मिनट हो गया था.
My God. And I was. Anyways, what is the inverse of 3 in modulo 5? It is 2. This was discussed. What is the inverse of 3 in modulo 6? Means to say 6 divides 3x minus 1. Right? 6 divides 3x minus 1. Can you find the value of x? Does that 6 divides 3x minus 1?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
There does not exist any integer such that 6 divides 3x minus 1. Why is it so? Because 3 is not co-prime with 6. So inverse will always exist if A is co-prime to M. That is given by this theorem. If A and B are relatively prime or co-prime, means to say GCD of A and M is 1. M is positive and greater than 1. Then inverse of A modulo exists. A modulo M exists. Okay. Inverse of A in modulo M exists. Okay. And this inverse will be unique in modulo M. That is, you cannot find some other inverse in modulo M. And what is the meaning of this in modulo M? See, this is also satisfied by
7.
right? 5 is that is 5 divides 3 into 7 minus 1. So x is also 7, right? But 7 and 2 are congruent in modulo 5, right? These are representing the congruent. Means to say these are equivalent, right? So this is unique. Means to say that is in modulo 5 we can divide the set of integer into 5 classes, and out of that this class is same. Whatever this inverse is giving you, this class will be same. That cannot be come from different class. Okay, and this class is what? If we divide by 5 and we get the remainder 2, that will be all of those represents this is inverse. For example, next will be 12, right? 12 also works, and minus 3 also works, and so on, right? Now, how to prove this one? That if A and M are relatively prime, that means GCD of A and M is 1. M and A or A and M is 1. Then inverse of A modulo M exists. Yes? So GCD of A and M is given as 1. From here, by the linear combination of GCD, you can write 1 as linear combination of A and M, right? AX plus MY. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, apply mod M on both sides. Now, this is the multiple of M, right? My is the multiple of M. So, this is divisible. This will give you remainder 0. What about AX? We don't know. What about 1? We don't know, right? 1 is divisible by 1 only, but M is greater than 1. That's why it will be 1. So, if you apply mod M on both sides, so it will be A into X plus 0, because this My is the multiple of M. That's why it will give you 0 remainder. Is congruent to 1 modulo M. Okay? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So, you can see this equation. Are this congruence? What does it say? This is the definition of inverse, right? X is the, whatever X coming from this equation, that will work as inverse of A. Is inverse of A in modulo M. Understood? We have proved, we have just taken, these are relatively prime, we have proved that inverse exists, right? Now, what about the uniqueness of this inverse? Suppose x1 and x2 are the inverses of A. Then you say, then we will show in last x1 and x2 are congruent, right? That is, these are nothing but same in modulo M. So x1 is the inverse, so it will satisfy this equation. x2 is also inverse, so it will satisfy this equation. Understood? Subtract second one from first one and take the A common. So what you got? A into x1 minus x2 is congruent to 1 minus 1. 0 modulo M. Understood? Yes? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what does this mean? M divides the difference of these two. And here if we have 0 only, so M divides this number, right? A into x1 minus x2. What is the given thing? M and A are co-prime. And M divides A into some number, right? So M will divide, M and A does not have any common factor. So M will divide the other one. M divides x1 minus x2, right? From here, if you apply modulo, in modulo M, what you can write? x1 and x2 are congruent, right? x1 is congruent to x2 in modulo M. Any doubt? So we have proved that if more than one inverse exists, all are congruent. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that is the uniqueness part. It is not given in this proof. It is given up to this one only. That is inverse exists up to this one. So uniqueness I have done now. So it's up to you. If it is asked, you can just show that suppose two inverse exist. In last, you will be showing both are equivalent. Means to say both are congruent in modulo M. Now we know that inverse of A exists if we have the GCD of A and M is 1. That is, these are relatively prime. Okay, co-prime. So we can now say why inverse of A 3 does not exist in modulo 6. Because 3 and 6 are not co-prime, right? GCD of 3 and 6 is not 1. That's why inverse does not exist. And likewise, can you find the inverse of 2 in modulo 4? In modulo 4, can you find the inverse of 2?
No.
No, because 2 and 4 are not co-prime. GCD 2. That's why that does not exist. And no solution for this equation as for this congruence as well. Okay. One more thing. You have linear equation in the real number, right? Yeah. One thing is to get inverses. Just try to write in this format, and 5 divides this one. 3x minus 1. One is that. Another is you just try to find x and y such that you can write 1 as the linear combination of A and B. A and M. From there, x will be the inverse of A. Got it? That is by this theorem only we got this. Okay. Now come to linear equation. So general linear equation is ax plus b is equal to 0 in real number. So can you tell me this is linear equation in real number, real system or integer system? Yes. This is linear. So In real number, if A is non-zero, B by A exists, right?
Yes,
B
ma'am.
by A is the solution for this, right? What about in integer? Does it always have a solution in integer? May not be, right? This should be integer in that case. So it may or may not be integer. So solution may not always exist. Okay. Now similar thing, we have linear congruence. Linear congruence will be AX, just apply modulo M on both sides. So it get converted into congruence. AX is congruent to B modulo M. Okay. Clear? AX is congruent to B modulo M. Now, one way is to solve this equation. Now, this congruence is M divides AX minus B. Is that clear? M divides difference of these two. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So M divides the difference of these two and find that X. That will be the solution. Okay. Another way is just multiply inverse of A on both sides. Make sure that inverse should be integer. Here, whatever we are finding the inverse in modulo M, all are integer. If you are not getting integer, that is wrong. Okay. So AX multiply by inverse of A, we get A into A inverse is congruent to 1, right? So left hand side will be having X that is congruent to whatever inverse of A you will be multiplying with B. Okay. If for example C is the inverse of A, then C into B modulo M. So that is just reduce this number in modulo M, that will be one solution. Okay. Is that clear? Find the inverse of 3 modulo 7. Inverse exists because 3 and 7 are congruent, right? So one way is to find the inverse is you just solve 3 into inverse of 3, that suppose that is X is congruent to 1 modulo 7. Okay, then you can just solve this equation. 7 divides 3x minus 1, right? What is the value of X? 5. 5 will work, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
They got minus 2. Why minus 2? Because 5 is also congruent to minus 2 in modulo 7. For other inverses, you just add mk. M over here is modulo m is 7, right? 7 into any integer. You can add any multiple of 7. You will get all the inverses are congruent. Okay. Another way to find the inverse is here 3 and 7 are congruent. That is GCD is 1, right? 3 and 7 are congruent. So GCD of 3 and 7 is 1. Can you write 1 as linear combination of 3 and 7? Right? 3 into minus 2 plus 7 into 1 is 1. Or 3 into 5 plus 7 into minus 1 is 1. Minus 2 is 1. Right? 15 minus 14 is 1. So if you apply mode 7 on both sides, that will give you remainder 0. So 5 is the inverse of 3. And if you are writing the linear combination as 3 into minus 2 plus 7 into 1, that will be giving you minus 2 as the inverse. Understood? Both part? For other inverses, you can just add 7k, multiple of 7. You will be having all the inverses. All are same equally congruent. Now come to this one. What are the solution of linear congruence? This is the linear congruence. Ax is congruent to 4 modulo 7. One way is just multiply the inverse of 3 in modulo 7, whatever you got, on both sides, and that will be the value of x. So inverse of 3 modulo 7 we got from the above equation. So you can multiply on both sides. So if you multiply by inverse of 3 by 3, you get 1, right? So it will be, left hand side will be 1. 1 into x. Congruent to 4 into, what is the inverse of 3? We got 5. 4 into 5, 20 modulo 7, right? And if you reduce this in modulo 7, what do you got? 6, right? So 6 is the solution. 3 into 6, What you got? 18. 18 is congruent to 4 modulo 7. And 2 also we got inverse, right? So if you minus 2 actually. If you multiply 4 with minus 2, you are getting minus 8, and minus 8 is also congruent to 6 modulo 7. Is that clear? Another thing is, you just divide 7, m divides ax minus b. That is 7 divides 3x minus 4. What is the value of x? That satisfies this one? 6. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in modulo m, you will, if the solution exists, if the inverse exists, you will always find one value from 0 to m minus 1. Okay, that is 6 we got in 0 to 6, right? 7 minus 1. And here we got the inverse for this one, we got 5, right? So that is also less than m. So less than equal to m, less than m, you will always get the value. You have some lecture now or finished?
Not your last.
Last class.
So you can take the screenshot of these and try to solve this. This one. Okay? Here you need to show this is the inverse of 13 modulo this one. So just multiply 937 into 13. Apply modulo this one. You should get 1. In that sense, it will be the inverse. Otherwise, not. Right? And find the inverse of 2 modulo 17. So just solve the equation. 2x is congruent to 1 modulo 17. Or by taking the GCD also you can just take. Okay? That is GCD of 2 and 17 is 1. That's why you can write 1 as 17 into minus 1, 17 into 1 and 2 into minus 8. So minus 8 will be the inverse in that sense. Solve this congruence, just multiply the inverse of 2 on both sides. You'll get here x and here just reduce that quantity. Okay? Clear? I stop here.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.